Hello everyone. Yeah, so this week we've got kind of blog / video on this one, so I'm doing a bit of both. So the chances are, if there's something I haven't covered in this video, it's probably going to be in the blog, which we will link below. And the idea I wanted to do about this, it kind of ties in with something that we're doing this weekend. So again, this is a little bit time sensitive, but I think it's something that I want to talk about. So this Saturday and Sunday, we're going to be outside the Castle Quarter, and we're going to be talking. We're actually going to be physically there. We are going to be selling our items, which I will unveil in a bit, in a sort of, I would call it unboxing, except that I've kind of put it in the box and taken it out of it. So is it a reboxing unboxing? I don't know. There we go. Semantics. But yeah, so there'll be a few people I want to shout out. One thing we did with this one, which is a bit different to what we usually do, is I posted out a couple of messages, asked a couple of people if they wanted to have a shout out through this particular, through the particular blog. Also, some of the people I mentioned in this, they've either sponsored us or supported us in the past, or I particularly want to shout them out just because I like them. There'll be different reasons why. And also, in a broader sense, this is also to kind of help people, like as I say, because sometimes when you're sort of trying to get gifts for people, it can be difficult, and these are a few things just to give you a couple of ideas, just to kind of mix it up a bit, just to kind of think about different ways you can do things, and sometimes you might be on a budget and you might want to sort of do something, and so there's going to be a couple of tips I'm going to throw in as well. So first up, before we start going into the box, I'm just going to, you have to excuse me a second because I'm just going to look this up. So first up, Becca and Tom from the What Mummy Says blog, which again we're going to link down here. So they've got a rhyming picture book called It's Gold We Love Most. So let's see if we can just get the summary here. So I'm just going to read this. Let's see. So this is by Tom Hamling, and so it's basically about these kids and they're playing pirates, and it's kind of a fun adventure thing, but very simple, good for kids, and it's about, in effect, kind of encourage play and imagination, so that's awesome. So I strongly recommend, if you've got kids, to check that out. Another one I wanted to give a shout to was, actually I'm going to do this as a dual shout out, I think. So Ari and Shireen, who wrote Talk Yourself Better, which is a brilliant book, and I strongly recommend it, and I have to find the link because we did a review of that, which is a really good book about mental health issues and how to deal with it, but it's very accessible, and they have contributions from some great people, including Charlie Brooker, and yeah, lots of great sort of contributors to that one. So I recommend checking that out, especially if you've got something like that that you have to deal with. I mean, not necessarily as a gift, but it's quite an interesting, engaging book, so it's something that you might just want to get for yourself. In terms of gift, so Lila Billa Personalised Jewellery is her new, I don't want to say sideline business because that sounds a bit harsh, but it's a new business that she's working on, which is inspired by a friend of hers, and it's just these really nice, I'll try and find the link for you, but it's this really lovely personalised jewellery, and I do think personalised stuff is good if you can get it for a gift, because getting gifts for people can be difficult, and anything that you can kind of personalise and make individual for someone, especially when it's something like that where it's quite nice and simple, but it looks cool, and it's something that, people will like that. I think I like that, and it's a cool concept, so those things are awesome. Right, so again, talking in a broader sense about gifts to get people, what I would always think, so there's always this phrase that, it's the thought that counts. Now, it's the thought that counts does not mean you remembered to get a gift. Like, it's about thinking what a person likes, and the challenge is you try to think of something that someone likes, but you have to kind of think of something that they like, but they wouldn't necessarily get for themselves, and that's the tough bit. It's always kind of hard because there are certain people it's very hard to get. I'm not going to name names, but there are some people that are very hard to get gifts for, and you have to kind of try to think laterally, but not too laterally, and it can be quite hard. But, so we're going to be talking in fairly broad terms here. And like I said, I will bring in some local businesses that I know as examples. But, obviously, from your point of view, if you don't live in these local areas or they can't get stuff out to you, then consider, things near you. So, I mean, one really good example would be... So, like I say, when I was a kid, I loved selection boxes. Selection boxes were the best. But if you want to kind of up the game a little bit, so Artisan chocolates by Saffire, who did the chocolates, which I will show everyone in a bit, have done chocolates for us. They do these really awesome, they almost look like crystals, these like little chocolates. And the great thing is you can do these personalised boxes and you can choose the chocolates that you put in. And I think that is a really cool idea. So, getting someone like a film or something, that's great. But then, putting something in and you've tailor-made it for them, that's really cool. But, I mean, they have all kinds of stuff and sort of chocolate in different shapes and workshops and lots of cool stuff. So I do recommend them. Talking kind of personal stuff, photography. So I know a couple of great photographers. Gail Dalmain, absolutely awesome person, and when we did the Made in Norfolk thing earlier in the year, she was really fantastic and helped us out, and she's a great photographer, so I recommend her. If you've got a pet, Alley Cat's Photography, they do, they've got a little barn studio, and it's great. Like I say, if you've got pets, it's great. If you know someone with pets, it's great. You can give vouchers for that. Brilliant. And, and they also do other types of photography as well. So, for example, if you need a passport photo or a headshot for your business, something like that, really good. Really strongly recommend. So there's that. I mean, like I say, different things that you can do. Also, I would not dismiss charity shops. I think you can get some smart stuff from charity shops if you sort of shop around a bit. Now, don't get me wrong, if you want to get because sometimes I think people will, ask for specific mainstream stuff. So yeah, if they want a Marvel film on DVD or something like that, fair enough. Get it from where you have to get it from. That's fine. But sometimes if you go around charity shops, you can find some pretty cool things. And for example, I found some really good prints through that. I found there's a really cool whiskey decanter I got for £1. I mean, just stuff like that where you just think, okay, that's a little cool. It's a little different. And the thing is, it's not you do it purely because it's cheap, but it's that's cool and a bit different. So we'll have a look there and try that. So that's cool. Another little idea, if you know the kind of foods that people like, you don't necessarily have to get a specific hamper for it. So for example, one thing I've been doing recently, because sometimes I get a load of boxes. So here's a trick: reuse. If you get something in from Amazon or something, reuse the boxes. And in my case, there's an additional practical element to that, because confession time, I'm rubbish at gift wrapping. So anything where I can keep it simpler so I don't have to wrap up as much, that's good for me. So that would be another tip for me. Just keep it simple. I mean, if you can, use bags, use boxes. Vouchers are really good. Obviously, it depends where you get them, and I think some people are kind of more open to vouchers than others. So again, it's a case of kind of doing your research and kind of reading people a bit, because like I say, some people love getting vouchers and some people don't, and you have to kind of gauge it really. I mean, cinema vouchers, awesome. I think they're great. Like I said, if it's a shop they regularly go to or a cafe they regularly go to, and again, consider independent places as well as the mainstream places, because it's a chance to check out somewhere else. And and again, it's not that I'm anti-chain places, I'm not, but one thing I love about living in Norwich is that you've got all these great alternative places, like that cafe, for example, which is near where I live. That's awesome. Grosvenor Fish and Chip Shop, just really cool, different places that kind of put their kind of spin on things. But yeah, just that's a nice little thing. Because if you know, for example, like someone, like they're going out to work or something, and they go out and get a coffee every day, giving them something like that so that they don't have to get it themselves, that's a nice little extra thing. You know, it's cool. And again, you can slip that into a card, so you don't have to, again, like, lug massive heavy stuff everywhere, but it's a nice thing. And again, like, kind of experience type things can be good for that as well. So, for example, I know for a fact, the Gin Temple, where we did our launch party, which was absolutely amazing, I know that you can do like gin tasting courses there, but there's, like I said, there's all kinds of things like that, and I think it's worth doing a little bit of research, seeing what's in your local area, because the chances are there might be something like, I mean, Taste Buds Wines in our local area, they do wine tasting. I know they've got one coming up. All of those things, something a little bit different. I mean, obviously, if you're under 18, that could be more of a challenge, and you might need to sort of get some help for that. But you know, just think about, you know, something a little bit different. Also, personalised things. Talking about personalised things. So I know various artists through the comic and what have you. So I've got to try and get some links down to these guys as well. Commission an artist to make a gift for someone. Now that, if you can get, I mean, you have to check, because sometimes people have different times and they might have only so many slots. Like, for example, we still have a couple of slots on the writing side of things. But being able to, like, have a picture drawn up of a person, and then you can put it on a mug or, as I say, on a notepad or something like that. Or, you know, just have the picture. And that's a cool thing that they have that's theirs. And the great thing is, there are so many artists out there, and they all have these great individual styles. It's fantastic. So I think what I'm going to do, like when we do the blog, I'm going to kind of keep an eye out, see if I can see the tweets by people and post them out there. If not, I'll try and post some links as well, because it's good to have those options. And I really would encourage people, if you can commission those artists, give them their shot, because one, that's how they make their money. Two, help them get out there, because, you know, if you do that and you make them feel, you know, and give them, I mean, I know exposure's kind of been a bit of a dirty word with artists, but I think if promotion comes with it, and, you know, and genuinely does kind of help them get work and get out there, that's a good thing. I mean, don't get me wrong, totally get it, come from a family of freelancers, so that's fair enough. Right, so yeah, so that's, I think, going to sort of tie in with the blog. I'm just trying to think, because I know, like I said, I know a few artists that have commissioned things, so I'm just going to try and do a few off the top of my head. So I know that Kitty Star Illustrations, I think, is a really good one. Retro Princess, who's also a fantastic YouTuber, I know she's doing a few. The Cherry Fox, I'm trying to think. Blitzy Arts. But yeah, like I said, I mean, a lot of the guys, like Dan Butcher, who did a lot of good stuff for us. Susie Gander, who's going to do the cover of the boxes that we're going to have on the Christmas fair on Saturday. Lots of good artists that I think all deserve their shot. And like I say, I'll try and find as many and sort of tweet them as I can in the blog to try and give you guys the plug that you deserve. So apologies if I've only done so many names. Also, we have the special thanks, so you can look up a whole bunch of artists and contact them through that as well. And also, if you've got like any questions and say, oh, who's this, like you see someone that you like from the comic and say, oh, who's this, we can get you in touch. Like, I'll be happy to do that, because, as I say, a lot of the ones I've worked with, really cool, really hardworking, and deserve support. Right, so I've kind of gone through this. I will finish off with the unboxing, box to box, 10 goals a season, Frank Lampard. Right, so for example, we are going to have, so when we have it, because I don't have them with me at the minute, but shout out to Minuteman Press, who are working on the boxes, which I will hopefully have together on the Friday. But as you can see from the contents here, we have got a comic, we have got sweets, we have got a badge, and like I said, the contents are going to vary, but as I say, for £10, that's a pretty good deal. For £8, if you just want the comic on its own, we can do that. And let's see. One of Joel Draco Peterson's posters here. I really like this one because of because it's modelled on a Lucky Luke cover, and because I was a big fan of Asterix growing up, so I particularly love this kind of style. So these will, we don't have masses of these, so these will be available on Saturday as well. And again, we will have them as part of a package. So I think probably about £5 with some other things in there. And let's see what else we've got in here. So we've got various cards here. So let me just pick one out. So this is Emily. We've mentioned before Emily Bandicoot. So she's working on issue 3. So that's her version of Wonder Vixen, which I really like that one. There we go. So I'll just get this one here. So issue 2 cover. So these are going to be in various packages. We have Ghostly Felice's AK Girl sticker, so there we go. And again, like I say, we'll try and get as many tweets and things down, which I'll look up and see if we can add them to the blog. So yeah, here we go. Oh, AK Girl by Emily Bandicoot. Let's see. Issue 2 preview. Motion comic. So that's also by Joel. Let's see. The issue 1 cover by Nicholas Webb and Strider Sid, so that's their artwork, top stuff. Let's see if we've got any others in here. I think that's it. Yeah, I mean, if there are more, I can't find them, so it's in there. And so this is me being enormously professional. So as you can see, we also have the mug here, which will, as you can have the Emily Bandicoot thing there, plus some chocolate, which is fantastic. And I've got to say, the Saffire chocolate is good. It is really good. It's a personal favourite of mine. Luke. So these are, on the Saturday, these are the chocolate flavours that are going to be available in the place. So we have got salted caramel, which is gorgeous. I really like that one. Bubblegum. The smell on this one is absolutely incredible. I love the smell on this one. It's a nice flavour, something a bit different. This one, the milk chocolate, classic, just really well done. And the Warp King mystery flavour. So if you've seen the video, you know what the flavour is. However, we're going to have a contest on the stand, so you could potentially win a prize by getting this. So there we go. I'm just going to put them away because I think that's everything. Yep, that is. But now, I am so professional. Okay, I'm going to put you over here. Why did I think this through before I did this video? Why am I sitting in the middle of this? And we're done. Okay. So there you go. That's a little kind of overview of what we're going to have on the stand on Saturday. So that's going to be 9 to 5 the Saturday and the Sunday. So that's this weekend at the Castle Forza. So that's going to be the entrance just outside what they call Timber Hill. And that is, as I say, just around the corner from Book Bugs and Dragon Tales. Oh, God, there's another couple I forgot to mention. So, yes, Book Bugs and Dragon Tales. You can get a copy of the comic from there. Plus, really good if you if you want to buy kids' books, young adult novels, comics, and again, there's various cool merchandise. Also, a nice little cafe there as well, which is great. So, if you're a bit stressed out from shopping, you can kind of stop for a minute, and it's quite a nice atmosphere. Also, Canary Comics. They're the big one, I think, in Norwich, who have been incredible supporting us, and big thanks to them. They, as I say, as well as selling our comic, they've also been starting supporting local artists like Ben Allen, which is great, because you can get his work, including his Inktober collection, and some really cool posters, which we've been putting into the Patreon recently. Recommend them. Comic House. I almost forgot them. The Comic House app. So if you know someone who loves comics and you want to kind of either introduce them to indie comics or they like indie comics, This is in effect an app which I think they call it Netflix for indie comic fans, and it's just, yeah, you pay a certain amount a month and you get all these comics, and Round City Chronicles #1 is amongst there, as well as a few of our digital collections. So yeah, check them out. And again, little thing that you could give just as a nice little bonus gift, and the good thing is with something that's digital based, you can get it out there. So yeah, hopefully with this video we've given you a few ideas, and equally if you've got a few tips to kind of help people out, by all means comment below. We want to help out as much as we can, and I think if you can help out other people with other tips as well to kind of help them with colour correctors, because I know also as well it can be a stressy time. And oh yeah, that's another thing before I finish off, because I think this is kind of important to talk about before we finish off. Yeah, it can be a very stressful time, and mental health issues are something that we want to deal with, and it is part of the comic. And we were talking about webcomic chat, we were talking about themes and stuff, and that was one I didn't really talk about because I think, to be honest, I could have talked all day about what we were doing, but yeah, dealing with kind of mental health issues and sort of opening up and sharing with people, it's not easy, and part of the comic and part of the kind of arcs of the story is about learning how to deal with these things and realising you're not alone, and you know, getting through your problems. It doesn't mean you instantly solve your problems, but you can get on the road to make it better and look for help. And that's why we're going to have a tin, and we are going to have that so that you can put a bit of money in and support them while you're there, because like I say, whatever you put in, if you give them a little bit extra, it's really good. I'm going to try and get some stuff aside to donate to them as well, because you know, I've used them before and they've been absolutely terrific. So yeah, so thank you very much to you guys as well. Really appreciate the work you do, and that's awesome. Yeah, so I think that kind of covers everything, and if I've forgotten everyone, I'm going to try and get everything into this blog now, and fingers crossed everything fingers crossed everything that I've just talked about I've managed to get in there. Alright, all the best guys, much love.